where do you imagine circle teachings going in your professional practice, in your school, in this space?
Well, you know what I was looking at? I was looking at these sticks, and they're getting worn out. And it's so great. Like they've got, you know, they've got wear on them, and I'd like to wear them out. But it's so cool having this skin on skin, and I'm really seeing the wear in these, and that really brings me great joy. In my perfect world, I don't know, in my Wave of Magic stick world, I would want to start each day with a circle. Take the time, like I you know, there's just this thing, this slowing down now that I feel, and I'm not here to, like, I don't know, there's just this feeling I'm not the right person, or the person with like the knowledge and skill to be able to make big profound statements or anything like that, but I just feel a need of slowing down and taking time. And I know our kids need it so hard being a teenager right now. Everything's coming at them is so fast and furious, and they just, honestly, they're just so overwhelmed so much of the time. And taking this time, like, I just love to do that. It's so, and it really does, if you know, want to move outside of the indigenous place and space and ways, and talk about something like Maslow, and you look at, you know, a hierarchy of needs, and you see that, like, schools are basically designed for halfway up the pyramid, and so we need to take care of all the things at the bottom, all the things that we need in terms of a sense of belonging and food and shelter and all of those things, so we can move to that, you know, magical place of learning and growing. And so, you know, if we're going to really do that, in my perfect world, we would make the time and honor the time to be in circle in the morning and check in and just take the time that is so required to slow down. And, you know, the curriculum will happen, you know, but in order for the curriculum to happen, and for learning to take place, I just really feel, and so in my world, like that, you know, that would be, and I would also, I don't know, I would love to see, like, you know, kids taking on more of a leadership role in that, and really, you know, inviting parents to the circle. You know, parents, if you think it's hard being a teenager, try being a parent of a teenager. That's a whole thing. The other thing too is I'm at an age now where, in my career, where I have, you know, children and I taught their parents, and so I see a generational piece to this too, that where, you know, it's where you know, everyone can benefit. So yeah, in terms of where I see it going, that would be kind of my, and so, you know, my evil plan is that we start small and start slow, and that we, you know, make a community to start with a morning next year, and see how that, you know, I don't know, see how that goes. I'm planning as we talk.
Yeah, and I think for me, circle is a part of who I am, and it's a part of just how I live my life, how I raise my own child, how I show up in our community, how I show up in schools, is by offering pieces that I find are going to benefit kids in a holistic way, and that happens in circle. And so for me, it's more sustainability around continuation, on continuing to build relationships, continuing to bring elders in, continuing to support kids, and growing and helping hold space for strong leaders, that these are our futures. And for kids to want to engage in culture, like, those are answered prayers. That for kids to want this in their life, to want to grow in meaningful ways, to pass on to their kids, those are the hopes that we pray for in ceremony, and that we try, because we don't live in traditional communities in our area. It's hard to find those connections, and we found that through coins. Circle of Indigenous Nation Society has been such an amazing resource for our school, for our kids, for our families. They're so loving and giving of their knowledge, of their time, of their energy, of their love and prayers, that they've been such great people to connect with and to be a part of our school. I think that our kids are becoming strong leaders. We see them in leading songs, and we have young boys who sing and who ask to sing, who seek opportunities to share their voice in community, and that's so amazing. And they've learned by witnessing people in community, strong men who have strong voices, who show up in these ways, that they're finding role models that they're seeing themselves in. They're seeing that they also enjoy being around the drum. They also enjoy sharing their voice. So how do they connect with more like-minded people to help them grow that? And I just look forward to seeing how it grows in our schools and our communities, for a foundation for our future. Is that we need strong people and strong young people to be able to have a voice in our community, stand up for when they see things that are wrong happening, and to share culture, because I do feel like this is good for everybody. This is a place where we can all access healing and help and health for future generations, for this generation, for our earth, our planet that's really struggling, that it's all our relations, just not within the people, but when we think about the water and the trees and the plants and all of our relations, we're raising young people to care about that on a deep level, that you become equal to. We talk about humility, and I think that that's the one word that so many young people don't know the meaning of humility. They think it's like humiliation, to be embarrassed or to be shamed. And when you speak about like Wolf's Medicine and sharing humility, to be humble, it's understanding that you are special, you have gifts to share, you're important, but so is everybody else, and that includes the water, the trees, the animals. And that's been cool to see the shift. And for some people who didn't know what humility was at the beginning of the year, to now being able to explain it in circle to other people who come in not knowing what that word means, and they're like, well, actually, this is what I learned about that word. And that's amazing to see kids sharing with other kids around teachings that they're receiving.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm not sure if kids get, but maybe they get on a deeper level or a subconscious level too. And it's something that really resonated, I think, in Richard Wagamese' book, One Drum.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that idea, and you mentioned it in Circle with Kids, about that first breath. And, you know, I think that our kids, and exploring that a little bit, you know, because that first breath is a magical one and we all take it. And then a lot can happen to us, you know, a lot of adverse childhood experiences and trauma and things like that our kids have, and people and our staff have moved through. And there's just this beautiful equalizing place and space in that first breath, that there's a sense of belonging there, and a sense of we're all the same. And then then we're gonna work through all the things that happened afterwards, you know. And so there's also that piece too that that really resonates with me. And I think that really gives us a gives us a feeling of again more belonging, and feeling like, you know, and a feeling of connectedness. And you know, the other thing too, in terms of Circle, moving forward too, is I would love also to be able to move more out onto the land. That would be that, and we're, you know, in the Kootenays, and so that would be, you know, another thing that I would love to aspire towards, where we're out of this like capsule and container called a school. And as we're rethinking this capsule and container and what happens here, but I also would like to be, you know, out there and in amongst them and on the land, and then all of the magic that could happen And is, but that could be continuing to happen out there, especially being in the Kootenays.
Mhm.